So let's just get settled, taking some deep breaths, tuning into our core engagement, shoulders relaxed, sitting tall. And then bring your right arm out to the side, palm facing forward, just at about shoulder height. Have a couple breaths here, just feeling that gentle, maybe a gentle stretch across the chest muscles, the pec muscles, into the front of the shoulder, maybe even into the biceps. And then start to bring that arm slowly out in front, crossing midline, and bring your hand down to the opposite knee or the opposite thigh. And then from here, you could round slightly forward over that left leg, maybe let your head droop forward a little bit, just a gentle stretch into the upper back. And on your next inhale, let's sit tall, bring that arm forward and open the arm out to the side again. And we'll repeat that a couple more times, bringing the arm forward, crossing midline, touching the opposite knee, little rounding forward as we exhale. Inhale to open the arm. And let's do one more on this side, crossing over, exhaling forward, and open. And you can just bring that arm down. Left arm out to the side. Just start here again, just holding the arm out to the side. Have a couple breaths. Just feeling that opening across the chest and shoulder, upper arm. Then we'll start to bring that arm forward, crossing midline, touch your opposite leg, round forward slightly. Just listen to your body where it wants to go. And then bringing that arm out to the side as we sit tall. And again, crossing midline, exhale, out to the side, inhale. One more time here. Lifting the spine, lifting the arm, and then bring that arm down. Roll your shoulders up and back. We'll do some waist circles here. So just start by leaning forward slightly and over to one side and around the back, over to the other side, and keep going, circling at the waist, making the circles whatever size feels right for your body. Both hips staying down. And whenever you're ready, you can go in the other direction with your circles. And next time you find yourself coming forward, pause and then sit tall. If you're sitting cross-legged, in a moment we're going to switch the cross of our legs. So just notice first which leg is in front, and then straighten your legs out in front of you and give your legs a little shake. You could rock them side to side a couple times and then come back to cross-legged, and you could switch which leg is in front. Let's bring both arms out to a T and turn your palms to face down. Shoulders relaxed down away from your ears. Bend that right elbow. We're going to keep the right elbow bent, and we're going to repeat our twist to the right towards the side of that bent elbow. So twisting from the waist, twist to your right, and then come back to center and pause. This time we're gonna, when we twist to the right, we're gonna do 3 pulses. So we're twisting and pulse, 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 and back to center. And again, pulse, 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 and center. Inhale at center, exhale to twist with those pulses, keeping that elbow bent like you're leading with the elbow. Let's go one more time to this side. Coming back to center, extend that right arm, bend your left arm. We'll go to the other side. Start with your inhale. We'll just start the first time, just a twist without the pulse. And then back to center. And now add those 3 pulses. We twist and pulse, 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 and center. Keep going. Visualizing that twist coming from the waist. Shoulders staying relaxed. And just do one more to this side. Coming to center, you can bring both arms out to a T. Let your hands come down. You can roll the shoulders again. Nice. And then slide your feet out in front of you and bring the soles of your feet to touch. You could slide your feet a little more away from you. Knees are going to fall out to the side. So this leg position, depending if it's yoga or Pilates, can be called bound angle or butterfly or frog position. So this is a position where we're going to have a bit of a theme in today's class, and we'll do a few exercises in this position. I kind of usually call it frog leg. I like that visual. And so it's knees bent, hips externally rotated. So right now we're just having a stretch here. You can either just stay here with a nice tall spine. You could keep your spine neutral as you just hinge slightly forward over your legs, or you can round forward over your legs. Come to a place that's a little stretch, but still comfortable. Have a couple breaths. And then sit up tall. We're going to make our way to, we'll start on hands and knees, and then we're going to make our way to a forearm plank. For today's class, I am going to set a timer for a 1-minute forearm plank. So you could either do the whole thing with your knees down. You could start with knees up, and when you need a little break, put your knees down and then lift them up again. So do what feels right for you. And we will, let me get the timer set up, and you can start on hands and knees. And then down on your forearms, either hands clasped or palms down. Step your feet back, lower your body into your plank. I'm starting my 1-minute timer. So wherever you are, your head's in line with your spine, belly's engaged, scooping that belly in and up. And then you're just breathing, holding. As I said, anytime you can just lower your knees, have a couple breaths. Either keep the knees lowered or you can lift them again. Just working on full body strength and endurance. Setting a goal. We're more than halfway through. Keep it going and breathe. Remember, you can always bring those knees down, have a couple breaths, lift them up. 10 more seconds. You got this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And knees down. I don't know why my phone turned off. There we go. That was a long alarm. Good work, you guys. Woohoo! All right, let's come to hands and knees. Nice way to start the day, a 1-minute plank. 2 options here. You can either go ahead and take a child's pose, or another option for child's pose. Sometimes child's pose feels great. So for some people, it's a little much on the knees. So another option is puppy pose. And if you want to join me for puppy pose, we start on hands and knees, and then we take a big step forward with our hands. So reaching forward with hands. And then from here, we're going to keep the hips high and just let the head and chest, upper body sink between your arms, and just come to whatever depth. You might come a little bit down, and that feels great, just stretching through the back and the shoulders. Maybe your forehead comes all the way down to the mat. So you can either be in this puppy pose or you can take child's pose just to have a couple breaths and let everything go, let everything sink. And then lifting up and bringing your hands back, coming to hands and knees. So anytime we do a child's pose, you can always take that puppy pose. So from our hands and knees position, let's bring our toes to touch and then just walk your knees a little bit wider. So we're coming back to that feet together, knees wide position, core engaged. Keeping the right toes down, just lift the right knee a little bit off of the mat. So this is going to be our starting position. So you've got toes down, right knee lifted. You may have shifted your weight a little bit over to the left, and that's fine. Just try not to shift it too far. Try to keep yourself a little bit more centered as you can. From here, keeping the knee bent, we're going to lift that right leg out to the side. And then as we lower, we're just lowering the toes down. So the knee will stay lifted the whole time. And lift out to the side and lower. And keep going like this. Really focusing on those hip muscles and your breathing. So it's just a light tap of the toes coming down. Toes touch. And let's do a couple more here. Nice work. And then you can let that knee come down, come back to center. Maybe shake out the arms or roll out the wrists before we do the other side. And then focusing on the left leg, toes stay down, knee lifts. From here, lifting and lowering that leg out to the side. The knee is staying bent the whole time. And we're just lightly touching the toes down. Couple more. Nice work. And then knee comes down. And then bring those knees back to hip width apart, back to your hands and knees position. Have a breath. Right leg is going to extend out behind you at hip level, toes pointing down. And then bend your knee, bringing that right knee just to hover above the mat. So we're not letting it come all the way down. It's just barely hovering above the mat. And then bring the right knee out to the side, bent knee out to the side. And then bring that down, hovering above the mat, and then extend the leg. So just alternating between those two moves, knee out to the side, leg extends behind, with a little hover of the knee in between. So again, we're keeping the body centered between the hands and breathing. Let's do one more each way. Nice work. And then this time the knee can come down. Again, any moves you want to do between sides. And left leg straight out behind you. Hip level, toes down, hips level with each other. Bend the knee to hover above the mat and then knee out to the side. And knee comes down and extend. So again, just alternating between the two moves. Leg extends and then knee to the side. And just checking in, we're always breathing. One more each way. Nice work. And then bring that knee down. And let's come right up into kneeling for a moment, just to shake out the arms, roll your wrists, roll your shoulders. Just check in what moves your body wants to make. And then we'll come back to hands and knees. One more here. So this next one, if you feel like your wrists have had enough, you can always do this next one down on forearms. We're going to do that same leg move where we're alternating between an extended leg, knee out to the side, And this time option is to tuck the toes and hover the knees the whole time. It's going to be pretty intense. So check in how that feels. We're just going to do 3 rounds on each side. And I'm telling you all of this now because it's going to be hard, probably hard for me to talk while we're actually doing it. So you can either have extended arms or be on your forearms. You can either keep your knees down and do it like we did the first time, or you're tucking your toes and hovering those knees, and then right leg straight out behind you. Bend your knee, bring your knee out to the side and lower. Extend and side. One more each way. Nice work. And then we'll go straight to the left. Don't put your knees down in between. Extend that left leg and knee to the side. Keep going. And one more round. You got it. Woo. And knees down. And then take your choice again of child's pose or puppy pose. I'll do another puppy here. Big breaths wherever you are. Let it all go. And when you're ready, we're going to swing feet forward. Come to your boat position. Coming back onto your forearms. Chest is lifted, collarbones wide. And then just being sure that you have that scoop in your lower abdominals, bringing the belly button slightly toward the spine, scooping in and up. And let the soles of your feet touch and knees out to the side. Come back to that frog position. We're going to keep the knee bent, keep our hip in this externally rotated position, and lift that right leg. So you're just lifting it up with the knee still bent. Pause here, and then extend the leg out to the side. Bend your knee and lower so that the soles of the feet touch again. And then lift that right leg. We're still going to go right. And extend to the side, bend, and lower. So we're repeating same leg. So keep going on the same leg. Lifting, extending out to the side, bending and lowering. We'll do one more here. Nice work. And then we'll go to the left leg, keeping the knee bent. We lift the leg, extend to the side, bend and lower. Check that you have your core engaged. You should feel that contraction in the lower abdominals. We should not be feeling this in the lower back. We don't want to strain our lower back. That's why we're keeping core engaged. And we'll do one more. Lift the leg, extend and bend and lower. And pause. Stay here back on your forearms. Our next set, we're going to do that same move, and we're going to do both legs at the same time. Your other option is to keep going with alternating legs. If you try both legs and it does feel like there's too much going on in your lower back, just go back to alternating sides. So make sure you've got the core engaged. We're lifting both feet. Extend both legs out to the side. Bring the soles of the feet together and lower. Lift, extend, and bend. And you don't have to lower your feet all the way to the mat. You could just lower them part way if that feels better for you. So here's one exercise where we really have to tune in to keeping that core engaged. While we're mobilizing through the legs, working the hips. Let's do one more. Good work, you guys. Nice. And bring those feet down. You can bring the soles of the feet down and lift yourself back up. Hands on your knees. Let your hands slide down your shins towards your feet, and just let your upper body fall forward over your legs. Your head can fall forward. Send your breath to your back. Lift yourself up, tall spine. Extend your arms out in front and clasp your hands, and then release your index fingers. So your index fingers are pointing. And with the core engaged, we're gonna just lean back slightly, keeping the back neutral for our twists here. Legs are parallel to each other. Twist to one side, point the fingers down towards the floor, come back to center, inhale, exhale, other side. And keep going with this twist, boat pose twist. Again, the focus is working the waist muscles, obliques. We're keeping the chest lifted. And one more to each side. Legs stay parallel. And come back to center. Lift yourself up. Have a breath. And prepare to make your way onto your back. Lowering yourself down with control. Hands either on your belly or on your ribs for a couple big breaths. Visualizing the air coming right down to the bottom of the lungs, and then all of the air coming back out of the lungs. Arms at the sides, getting ready for hundreds. With the scoop in the belly, we're going to lift our feet. Upper body curls up, lifting shoulder blades off the mat. Arms lifted, palms are down. Knees can stay bent or extend the legs. Pump your arms. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Halfway there. Breathing in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in, out, in, out. Last round, in and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Head comes down, pull your knees in. Have a couple breaths, and you can rock if you'd like. And feet come down. Big breath. Core engaged, lifting feet. We're going to come into single leg stretch, curling upper body. Bring one knee towards the chest, inside hand knee, outside hand ankle, other leg extends, and switch the legs and keep going. Breathing. Let your head come down if your neck starts feeling any strain, or you always have the option to have one hand just lightly behind the head too. That's another good option. Let's go 4, 3, 2, and 1. And knees come in and head comes down. Couple big breaths. Feet to the mat. Our next exercise is crisscross, and on our last 2 crosses, we'll pause and just hold the cross and just see if we can get a little more twist and height when we get to the last 2. So with that scoop in our belly, we're lifting feet, we're curling up and over, hands lightly behind our head, elbows wide. One knee comes in, other leg extends, twist towards your knee, and then over to the other side, and keep going. Keeping those elbows wide. Little pause each time we twist. Next time you come over to one side, let's just pause here. See if you can curl a little further up and twist a little more. Have another breath. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Come over to the other side, pause. See if you can come into this a little higher, a little more twist. Breathe, center, and head down and feet down. Arms can come back to your sides. Feet come a little bit wider. Let your knees sway and windshield wiper knees. Nice and slow. And back to center. Walk your feet back to hip width. And with the core engaged, we're going to keep our head down for the next couple. Lift your feet. Flex your feet. And we're going to alternate heel lowers. So one leg lowers down, tap your heel and lift all the way back up. Other leg comes down, tap your heel. You're keeping your knees bent the whole time. And we're just tapping heels. This is a good one to really check in on how this feels in the lower abdominals, transversus abdominis engaged. And also noticing the lower back. We shouldn't feel a lot of movement in the lower back. We want to keep that stable. And breathing. Let's do one more each side. Let your feet come down to the mat. We'll take a full body stretch for a couple breaths. So slide your legs out, arms overhead. 2 big breaths. Arms back to your sides. Slide your feet in. Scooping the belly again and lifting the feet. Arms reach to the ceiling. Turn your palms to face each other. Shoulders down on the mat. And flexing your feet again. We're going to let that right heel come down to tap. At the same time, opposite arm, left arm overhead. And then lift the arm and leg. And then other side, left heel, right arm, and lift. And keep going like this, opposite arm and leg. You're keeping your knees bent as you just tap the heel down, arm overhead. So it's a little bit of brain and body as we do opposite sides. And then pause the next time your legs and arms are lifted, and we're going to mix that up a little bit and do same side now. So as your right heel comes down, right arm overhead, and then lift the leg and the arm, and then same side on the left. And keep going. Let's just do one more to each side. Nice work. And then you can bring the feet down. Let's bring arms overhead. Slide the legs out, have a couple breaths again. And we're going to either do a full roll up or make your way up to seated. Inhaling here and exhale to roll up. And then go ahead and make your way up to a kneeling position. So you're up on your knees. You can always put cushioning under your knees. Toes can be tucked or untucked, whatever feels right for you. And then just let those hips come a little bit forward. So we're opened up through our hip flexors, chest is lifted, shoulders back. And then bring your right leg out to the side. Land on the sole of the foot, toes pointing forward. Bring your arms out to the side, and then we're going to bring the fingertips behind our ears. Little side bend over to the left, away from the extended leg. Pause here. Reach both arms overhead. Bring your arms out to a T. Fingertips behind your ears, and then lift your upper body back to center. And we'll do that again, over to the left, a little side bend to the left. Now, if it doesn't work for you to be moving your arms, you can just stay here as well. Reach those arms overhead, arms out to a T, fingertips behind your ears, lift your body to center. One more here, side bend over, reach arms overhead, arms out to a T, fingertips behind ears, Lift your body to center. Keep your leg as it is. Right leg out to the side. Bring your arms out to a T. Palms are facing down. Shoulders relaxed. Tip yourself over to the left and land on your hand. Lift that right leg. Lower the leg back down and lift yourself all the way back up to your T. And again, tip over, land on your hand. Lift the leg. Leg lowers, lift yourself up all the way, using those side muscles to lift up. Tip over, lift the leg, leg down, all the way back up. And just one more here, tipping over, leg lifts and lowers, and come back up to center. Bring the right knee down, bring your arms down, roll the shoulders, shake the arms. Preparing for the other side, left leg out to the side, land on the sole of your foot, toes forward, fingertips behind ears. We'll start with this one with the fingertips behind our ears. Little side bend over to the right, away from your extended leg, pause, arms reach overhead, arms out to the T, bring your fingertips back behind your ears, lift your body to center. Little side bend, reach overhead, arms out to a T, fingertips, center. One more like this. Bend, reach, and a T, fingertips behind ears, and center. Pause here, keep your leg out to the side, arms out to a T. Tipping over to the right, bring your hand down, lift the leg, leg lowers. Lift yourself all the way up, using that side of the body to lift. Tipping over, leg lifts and lowers. Lift yourself all the way up. 2 more like that. Coming up, and last one here. Coming over, land on your hand, lift your leg. Leg lowers, lift your body up. Nice work, you guys. Knee down, arms down, roll the shoulders. And coming back to seated with legs out in front of you, we're going to make our way onto our back again. Have a little stretch forward over your legs, and then lower yourself down with control onto your back. Let's have a full body stretch for 1 or 2 breaths. And then bend your knees. And let the soles of your feet touch, knees out to the side. Interlace your hands behind your head. Just rest your head into your hands, elbows wide. With the core engaged, we're gonna do an upper body curl. So just curling up and over. Looking down, hands are lightly behind your head with elbows wide. Make sure you have that core engaged. We're going to lift both feet, keeping soles of the feet together, knees wide. We're going to keep our upper body just as it is, and then start to lower those feet. They may just come halfway toward the mat. They don't have to come all the way down, and then lifting them up again. A little bit of a lower and a lift. Make sure you're breathing. And 2 more. Nice work. Let those feet come all the way down and your head comes down. Arms to your side. Bring your feet on flat onto the mat. And for bridge today, we're going to again take that a variation on that frog leg position. So start by bringing your feet close to your body, and then bring your feet to touch. So rather than having the soles of your feet together, you still have the soles of your feet on the mat, but the edges of your feet, inside edges of your feet are together. And then from here, let your knees come out to the side, just a little out to the side. Arms are at the sides of your body with palms down, pushing into the feet. You're lifting hips up to your bridge. Pause here at the top. Knees are still out to the side. And then we're going to slowly lower, slowly, slowly, slowly coming down. We're going to do a couple more of those. You can either keep your arms down to the sides, or you could reach your arms up to the ceiling, turn your palms to face each other, shoulders stay down on the mat, pushing into feet, lift your hips, keeping the knees out to the side, slowly lower. And we'll do one more like that. Lifting up and lower. Nice. And then you can bring your arms down. Bring your knees back to center. And since we're doing a lot of work on the hips today, let's just do a gentle hip stretch here. So just cross your right ankle over your left knee. Let that right knee fall out to the side. And we'll just stay here for a couple breaths. Just let everything relax. Focus on those full breaths. And when you're ready, we'll switch sides. Bring that right foot down, left ankle crosses over, knee falls out to the side, just gently. A couple big breaths. And foot comes down. Nice. And rolling over to your side. So 2 options for our side plank today. You can either take our usual option. So either way, you're going to be on your forearm. And you can either take your bottom leg knee bent and then top leg straight like we normally do. Or if you want a little more intensity, you can have both legs straight, front foot in front, or top foot in front of the bottom foot. And either position, then you lift your hips. And you can lift that top arm to the ceiling, and we'll just stay here and breathe. Let's stay here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stay on your forearm and let your hips come down. So you're still propped up on your forearm. And let's start with both legs extended. And then bottom leg, bend your knee, just bring your foot behind you. So the bottom leg is just a little kickstand. Top leg is going to stay extended and hovering. And then reach your top arm to the ceiling. Turn the toes of that top leg slightly to come up to the ceiling. A little bit different than what we normally do. So we're going to allow that hip again to externally rotate, toes pointing up slightly. And then bending your knee, bring your knee up toward the ceiling. At the same time, that top arm is going to reach to the leg and maybe touch your shin or your ankle or your foot. And then extend that leg to hover, and arm reaches to the ceiling. And then bend the knee and reach your arm. So your knee is approximately coming toward your shoulder. It's not going to come right to your shoulder, but that general direction. And at the same time, the arm is just reaching down, and wherever it touches on your leg is the right place. So again, working that outside of the hip. And let's do a couple more. And then pause with your top leg hovering. We're going to keep the legs in this position, and then just let your head come down, support your head on that lower arm. And now if your toes are still pointing slightly up to the ceiling, turn your toes to point straight forward in our usual position. We're going to reach that top arm forward now. So your palms facing down, your arms just hovering here, reaching forward. As your top knee comes up towards your chest now, pull that elbow back. So this is another little bit of brain and body work today. And then extend that leg and hover and reach your arm forward. So knee toward the chest, pull the elbow back. So the arm and leg both extend at the same time, and then both bend at the same time. And if you end up doing something slightly different, that's just fine too. Supposed to be very good for our brain to do things that challenge us, like moving our arms and legs in different ways. Let's do one more here. Nice work. Extend. And then you can bring that top hand down. Let's bend both knees forward into the clamshell position. And keeping feet together, just go ahead and lift and lower that top knee. A little more love to the outside of our hip here. Last one. Nice work. And feeling like we need to do another nice stretch for that hip. So let's keep the top knee bent, straighten your bottom leg and let the top leg come down to the mat. Reach your bottom arm forward and let's come into that side twist. So from here, you're reaching your arm, top arm to the ceiling and then just opening the arm. Let your head come down so that we can relax into this position. And wherever your arm ends up, it can float in the air. It might come all the way down to the floor. Your top knee could lift a little bit. Wherever you come to, just find a comfortable position. You're going to feel some gentle stretching and then just breathe. And then come back over to your side. Nice. Make your way to your other side. And choosing the plank variation that you did on the other side. So you either have that bottom knee bent and down, or we have both legs extended and staggered. Either way, lifting up, reaching that top arm to the ceiling, and you're breathing for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and lower down. Stay on your forearm. And you're gonna bend that bottom leg, so it's that kickstand, and top leg is hovering. Top arm to the ceiling. Slightly turning your toes to point up, little external rotation from the hip. Bringing that top knee towards your shoulder as you reach your arm down, touch your leg. And then extend the leg, reach your arm. And knee comes up as you touch and extend. And keep going like that. And anytime we're doing these arms and legs moving, you can always choose to just focus on the leg and keep the arm down. It's always another option depending what's going on with your shoulder. Let's do one more here. Nice work. Extend that leg, keep your legs as they are, lower your head, support your head. And then just turn that toes so they're pointing forward. Top arm is gonna reach forward, palm down. This time the knee's coming forward towards our chest, and then we pull the elbow back. Extend the leg, reach the arm forward, knee bends and elbow bends. And keep going. Last one here. Nice work. And then you can bring that hand down, bend both knees, bring them forward for clamshell. Feet are touching, lift and lower top knee. Couple more. Nice work. Keep that top knee bent as you straighten the bottom leg. Let your top knee come down, and we're going to go into that side twist. So reaching the arm forward, other arm to the ceiling. Let yourself roll back. Nice big stretch to the outside of that hip. Just focus on your breath. The main thing is being able to take big breaths. And then come back to your side. And come up to hands and knees. We're going to do a few dolphin dives. So you're going to make your way onto your forearms. You can clasp your hands, step your feet back, land on your toes, hover your body into plank, and then lift those hips up to the ceiling and come on down to your plank. Lifting hips and lower, and you're breathing. Do 2 more. Nice work. Let your knees come down. Lift yourself back up to hands and knees. Back to tabletop position. Core engaged. We're going to do 5 modified push-ups here, just staying in hands and knees. So we're going to keep those hips high as they are. Elbows will stay close to the body as we lower the chest and then push away. And keep going. Inhale as you come down. Exhale to push away. 2 more until you've done your 5. Nice work. And then we're going to lower ourselves down onto our belly. You can stack your hands under your forehead. Let your forehead rest down onto your hands. And then let's slide our legs slightly out to the side so that your feet are maybe touching the outside edges of your mat. And then keeping the knees wider in this position, bend your knees and let your feet come together in the air. So feet are lifted, soles of the feet touching, back to frog leg position. So you can either have the soles of your feet touching or maybe just your heels together. Either way, you're going to push your feet or your heels a little more towards each other. So as you push the feet together, heels together, you're going to feel that activation all the way up your legs into the glutes. And we're breathing, even though we're pushing the legs and holding, keep breathing. And you can either stay here with this isometric hold, or you can do a little lift and lower of the thighs off of the mat. So you're just slightly lifting and lowering. If that causes, of course, any pain at all in the lower back, then just keep the legs down. Or you can do this little tiny lift and lower, really feeling that in the hamstrings, in the glutes, the back of the body. Couple more. Nice work. Let those knees come down and relax the feet out to the side. So we're going to keep our legs in this slightly wider position with the feet out toward the edges of the mat. And then we're going to extend the arms overhead and bring our arms also a little bit wider, sort of into a V or Y position. And we'll do our swim prep exercise with our arms and legs a little bit wider today. So lifting head just slightly off the mat and lift opposite arm and leg out to the side here. And then lower down and then other side. And keep going, so we're just alternating. It's opposite arm and leg. We've got the arms a little bit wider, the legs a little bit wider. And you're breathing. And 1 more to each side. Nice work. And let your forehead come down. Let's bring our arms alongside our body and slide your legs back to being straight out behind you. Arms are a little bit away from the body for airplane. We're going to lift the head, lift the chest, lift the arms. Pausing here, breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, forehead comes down, arms come down. And now we're going to lift legs only, so both legs come up off the mat. And breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs come down. And then we're going to lift upper and lower body together. Lift your head, chest, arms, legs, everything lifting, lifting. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. And then just bend your elbows, let your arms come to a comfortable position, turn your head to the side, and let's let all of the tension just melt away. Bring your attention back to your breath, feeling the back of the body expanding on your inhale. Just see where you can let go of tension on your exhale. And keeping in this relaxed position, just turn your head to the other side for 2 or 3 more full breaths. And then forehead on the mat and hands under your shoulders. Push yourself up to hands and knees. Starting our cool down. We'll do a few cat-cow stretches for the spine here. So as you start to exhale next, you're going to tuck your tailbone under, round your back, let your head drop, exhale. On your inhale, you're lifting tailbone, belly drops, chest forward, gaze forward. Follow your breath. Maybe one more each way. And then options, either child's pose or a puppy pose. Big breaths. And lifting yourself up. And we'll make our way to a seated position. So we're going to start cross-legged. And then we're going to come into our mermaid position. So you can take your right leg out to the side and bring that foot behind you. Both legs over to the side here. And then just lifting that upper body and center, fingertips down. And we'll just do a few slow side to side bends. So just go at whatever pace feels right to you. Hold in any position. So you can just lift that right arm up and come over to the side. And back to center. Other arm comes up, little mini side bend. And then go ahead and just go side to side or stay on one side for a few more breaths. Just allowing our breathing rate and our heart rate to come back down as we have some nice stretches here. And maybe you'll do one more to each side. And then we'll come to center. Switch your legs over to the other side. Starting by centering yourself. And then again, those side bends. Just going at your pace. And maybe we'll do one more to each side. Lovely, back to center. Coming back to cross-legged, and then let's Once again, bring the soles of our feet to touch. Let your feet come out in front of you, knees out to the side. And you can either stay here with this tall spine, hinge forward slightly, or just round forward over your legs. And focus on breath. Just letting those legs be heavy as the knees fall out to the side. And keep your legs in this position as you lift back up to that tall seated position. And we'll take the right leg and extend it out to the side, just at an angle out to the side, toes pointing up. And then you could tuck that left leg in a little bit more so the sole of the foot is close to your extended leg. And hand on your extended leg, other arm to the ceiling, and just little side bend over that right leg. Not feeling like you have to get to any certain position. And coming back up to center. Let's extend the left leg out to the side, bend the right. Hand on your extending leg, other arm to the ceiling, side bend over. Lifting back up. We're going to find a comfortable seat. If you're not already on your cushion or prop and would like to, you can grab that. And then any seated position you would like, whether it's cross-legged or one leg out to the side or both legs extended. Find somewhere where we can just stay for a few breaths. Sitting tall. Arms are relaxed into your lap. Maybe close your eyes. And then bring the attention back to your breath. Just noticing what it feels like to breathe. And as we're focusing on our breath, if different thoughts come to mind, you can just notice, oh, there's a thought, and then say to yourself that you can focus on that thought later and let it float away. And once again, notice what it feels like to breathe. And then you can put one hand on your belly and one hand over your chest. Feeling your body as it lifts into the inhale and softens into the exhale. Maybe you notice your heart beating, or imagine your heart beating under that hand on your chest. Letting the muscles in your face relax, your shoulders relax. Staying here for 3 or 4 breaths. And you can either keep your hands as they are, or at any point bring your hands back to your lap. And then we'll all start to open our eyes. Bring your fingertips down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Lovely. Thank you for joining me today and for the last 6 weeks.